petition for the council requesting this vacation. It would be required of a 4/5 vote for approval from the council as well.
Thank you.
And moving on, the last piece is the easement agreement. We go back to the presentation. And I'll hand that off to Jim Taylor of the Parks Department, and he'll talk more about what kind of agreement Mr. Regan and the Parks Department has come to over the use of a portion of Maplewood Heights Park.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Currently, we have 4,600 square feet and 10 stalls that are on park property. In the proposed agreement, there'd be 7,500 square feet and 21 stalls on the current Maplewood Heights property. To accomplish this, the trail would need to be relocated to the east side of the parking lot. This relocation would provide for better accessibility for park patrons off of Beam Avenue. As part of the proposed agreement, the city would receive the following: site improvements as they relate to the parking area, exclusive use of 4 parking stalls in the new proposed lot, improvements to the tennis and basketball courts not to exceed $20,000. The developer will be responsible for year-round maintenance of the parking lot, resulting in a cost savings to the city. Staff also feels it is important to note that the improvements to the tennis and basketball court would normally come from general tax levy dollars and not out of the PAC. These improvements will allow us to spend the dollars we receive from the general tax levy in other areas. The the Parks and Recreation Commission was very supportive of the reciprocal easement agreement and passed staff's recommendation by a vote of 7-0. 2 commissioners were not present. They had 2 requests: 1, to explore making one of our dedicated stalls a handicap stall, and 2, to create better signage at the entrance stating that it's for both properties. So the recommendation from the park standpoint is staff recommends the city enter a reciprocal easement agreement with Air Lake Properties at Maplewood Heights Park for the use of 7,500 square feet of parkland for a shared parking lot. For allowing this easement, the city will receive a full PAC contribution from the development, improvements around the parking lot, 4 exclusive use spots for park patrons, and improvements made by the developer to the tennis and basketball courts not to exceed $20,000. In addition, the developer has agreed to provide year-round maintenance of the proposed parking lot and allow the city access to all the additional parking stalls.
Mayor and Council, in summary, also to add, as I had mentioned, the Community Design Review Board did recommend approval of the design plans, and then the Planning Commission did review the vacation request and also recommended approval of that of itself. At the time of the Planning Commission meeting, the staff was still negotiating with the applicants the full details of the potential benefit to the city when it was not explicitly given to the Planning Commission, so they did express some hesitations. Commissioner Pearson is here tonight to represent the Planning Commission. And then also the applicant, Mr. Reagan, is also available for the council for any questions. So with that, staff is recommending approval of all 3 requests and is available for any questions.
Ms. Juneman.
I don't want to be a wet blanket, but is there any possibility with this particular medical use of that building that they would have like a Saturday event or anything where they would need the complete parking lot or more of it? Or do we have enough parking along there to accommodate that anyway?
Staff feels with our 4 spots that are dedicated towards the park and adequate parking on Beam Avenue that we would still be able to accommodate our park patrons.
Thank you.
Mr. Nettner.
The 2 points that were brought up by the Park Commission was handicap parking, and the other one has the applicant been proposed those, or they agreed to. I think in the packet we didn't have the minutes yet from the Park Commission.
Yep, the 2 things the Parks and Recreation Commission mentioned were, one was to make one of our exclusive use stalls a handicap stall, so we're going to explore that option. The other comment by the commission was to better sign that joint use entrance, and staff as well as Mr. Regan have expressed that we would work together to help make sure that happens.
And just as a follow-up question, are those things that should be done on a staff level, or should we be making any modifications to the approvals in our packet in order to cover that?
Mayor, Council, under the design review conditions, there is a condition of adequate signage. So that could stand in place, or if we needed to modify that to explicitly state the shared use, you could do so as well, pulling those conditions up.
I did want to comment that when I first heard of the concept